Okay, everybody. Well, you're in an online course now, so if you've never taken one before, you're going to see that it's a bit different from what you're used to going to a face-to-face lecture course. So let's think about what an online course, what does it mean to be taking an online course? There are some similarities and some differences. Here are a set of differences between an online course and a lecture course. In a lecture course, typically it will be located in a classroom on a college campus. In an online course, basically class is in session wherever you have access to a computer, whether it is at a library, whether it is in a laptop on the beach, whatever it happens to be. You can be attending class, so to speak, wherever you happen to be. So there's certainly some flexibility there. In a lecture course, the class times are set. So you might have a class from 11 o'clock to 12:15 on Tuesdays and Thursdays or something like that. In an online course, however, the learning times are flexible. Some people might prefer to, maybe you got a family with kids and you wait until everybody's asleep before you get started on your activity. So you may actually start class 2 o'clock in the morning. Who knows? So depending on what your busy schedule happens to be, your learning times are flexible in an online course. In a lecture course, there is a lot of face-to-face interaction between the student and the instructor. It happens, every class session. In an online course, the interactions are online. Now, you could have a circumstance where it's an asynchronous environment, which means that, you might post something and then somebody else might post a response later on, and you look at it and you make your responses on your own time. You don't necessarily do it at the same time. A synchronous circumstance, a synchronous environment means you're interacting at the same time. And some online courses have some synchronous activities, but most of the time it's asynchronous. You're doing your interactions with your instructor and with your classmates kind of on your own time and at different times. Finally, one of the advantages of going to a face-to-face course is that the act of getting up and going to class, going to school, getting your books, going to the classroom is a way of keeping yourself motivated, keeping yourself, okay, it's time to get ready for school, it's time to start listening, it's time to start being a student. Well, when an online course is, you're only a student if you log on to the course site, and you might be doing something else, and you may need something to keep you more motivated. So in an online course, in order to be successful in an online course, students have to be very, very self-motivated. You need to be able to really get yourself psyched up for doing what you need to do, and staying on task and having good time management is very important. But you got to really be motivated. You can't wait for the instructor to remind you, hey, you got to go ahead and do your assignment. You have got to remind yourself. That's very important. Now, in many ways, an online course is actually very similar to a lecture course. Whatever your course is, they're going to be learning outcomes for a lecture course, and they're going to be learning outcomes for the online course as well. And typically they are going to be exactly the same. The material you are supposed, the learning outcomes that you're supposed to achieve in the lecture course should be the same as what in an online course. It's just that the delivery of the course is different. That's all. They both require reading. You both have to, be reading the textbook or what other kinds of materials that the instructor requires. Something else to consider here is in a face-to-face course, some students might not even do the reading. They just say, well, I'll just learn it all in class. I don't need to do the reading. Well, it doesn't work that way in an online course. In an online course, you're not waiting for the next lecture. You need to go ahead and, actively do your learning on your own. You have to get the textbook and you have to do your reading. So in that case, I think it might be an advantage of an online course. It might actually encourage students to be more likely to do their reading in an online course than in a lecture course. So if you are one of those students who waits for class and doesn't do your reading, you're not going to be successful in an online course. Both online courses and lecture courses do have exams. They both have writing assignments, and you will see both of these in this course that you're taking right now. Participation is expected for both lecture and an online course. In an online course, it's especially important. Participation is especially important in an online course. Sometimes you'll have group assignments in an online course. You'll have group assignments in lecture course. You have group assignments in online courses. In a lecture course, your group mates are right there in front of you, and you can get together with them and you can work on the assignments. In an online course, well, your group mates may be in different parts of the country, and you've got to find ways to get together with them, at least to interact with them, whether it be synchronously or asynchronously. You need to keep in contact with each other and do it frequently. And that's a tough thing to do, but in a group assignments, that's what you need to do in an online course. The bottom line, you need to be participating. You need to be and responding to discussion questions. You need to be doing a lot of interaction with both the instructor and your classmates, because you're not getting it face to face. So that's one of the things you need to do in an online course. Both online courses and lecture courses require the use of a computer. It's no longer, you're just taking notes on paper and the instructor on the chalkboard. As you know, with technology, there is a lot more you can do. You may need to search for journal articles. You may need to do all different things that require you to use a computer that in the past maybe you didn't were not required. But obviously in an online course, the computer is absolutely essential. That is the only way in which you can actually access the course. Finally, both online courses and lecture courses use Moodle. At least at Our Lady of Lake College, we do. And this is it's a platform where you can have post activities and whatnot, and you could also post online discussion forums. So this is where you would be having that interaction with your classmates, and again, extremely important in an online course. What I would like you to do as soon as possible within the first week of the course, don't let it get past 1 week, is to go to the Introduce Yourself discussion forum and post a video introduction, an introduction to yourself. And basically you're going to be telling the class a little bit about yourself, telling about your background, your personality, interests or hobbies, and answer these questions. What aspects of psychology are you most interested in understanding better? And how do you think a course in psychology could help you in your personal life? How do you think a course in psychology could help you in your future career? And I would also like you to respond to at least 2 of your classmates' posts. So in other words, you watch and see what your classmates are posting on their videos, and respond to what to their videos, and again, so that's what I want you to kind of get to know each other now. Finally, I'd also like you in your video to briefly tell me what you hope to gain from the course. If anything you haven't said already. Good luck and welcome to the course.